Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Blackforexgroup coming to you with another pre-market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the British pound and USD. But before we go ahead and start breaking down this forex pair, we have to state that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. But we all know why you're here to find good financial content to improve your abilities as a trader. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what we can do to help out with that. Now, as we do at Black Forex, one thing that we do is break down the fundamentals before we break down the technical analysis because we know both are important, leaning more towards fundamentals being a little bit more important than technical analysis. All right, now the British pound USD. First, let's discuss the British pound. Okay, so Great Britain is currently suffering due to inflation, just like all the major world nations right now. They're all suffering from inflation, which has to do a ripple effect from the economic moves that had to get made to maintain people's economies during the whole COVID pandemic. So that's what's happening with that. And then also, too, all the nations that's in Europe, even though their British pound is not a part of the EU, it's still suffering from the ripple effect from the Russia-Ukrainian conflict due to the British pound as obviously a European currency. So it is also suffering from the Russian-Ukrainian conflict through basically a ripple effect, like almost through an indirect effect. Like so, because the EU is being affected, so is the British pound being affected, just because of its proximity due to it being in Europe. And you can see that here because right here we were somewhat ranging out, and then we got the full scale invasion. We've been dropping, and we've been kind of on the lower side ever since. Okay. Now, also, as we stated in previous videos, that the USD, that the American economy is suffering from inflation, which means that it also has an inherent weakness to it due to the inflation. But then on the other hand, throughout this Russian-European Ukrainian conflict, European conflict, it has acted as a safe haven currency. Now, as I stated in previous videos, the USD is traditionally not a safe haven currency, but it is acting as one due to it is the major power leading the sanctions against Russia for its aggression against Ukraine. Okay, so now that we got the fundamentals out the way, let's go ahead and look at the technical analysis. So as we previously stated, right around this time is when we got the invasion getting started, and we got the invasion started, and we started dropping right here. Okay. And then once we realized it was just going to be a pure European conflict, we started to come up some. But just because Russia and Ukraine is in peace talks, they still have soldiers on in the streets fighting in Ukraine. And with that being said, that means Europe's economy, all European economies and markets are kind of in a state of turmoil right now, which is going to have a weakening, a ripple effect on their currencies. So we are most likely going to continue to go down going into this trading week from a technical analysis. I would not be surprised if we cover the entirety of this wick going down. So what we will see is something of the effect of where we will probably push down in this area, have a rebound, range out before we continue to go down, or we may continue to range out here before just going down. Now, let's say we do have a fundamental shift in which the USD starts to become much more weaker than the British pound. We don't have any geopolitical news that can put the world in a panic due to the European conflict. Then what we can start doing is have aggressive moves push up, slight moves push down, range, and go back up. Now, is it possible that may be happening? That may happen, yes. Is it probable? Not due in this current market climate. We're mostly going to be looking going into the short selling side for the rest of this week. Okay. And what we will see there, like I said, is we will continue to see a move down, slight push up, range, and then drop, or we may see a range right here before it actually starts to drop. Okay. So please keep in mind the fundamentals with trading this week because these things can start changing on you during mid trading sessions. and you don't want to get caught in the middle of these turnarounds without having a plan. Okay, so please keep these things in mind. And with that said, happy trading.